The new Canadian movie Skeet is about a man from Newfoundland and his life after coming home from prison. Take a look.
How long?
Well, you know what this is.
Please, I drive taxi here.
That's 3 years of hard time.
Skeet will premiere at the Atlantic International Film Festival next month. Its director, Nik Sexton, is here in studio this morning to tell us all about it. Hey, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, congratulations on the film. Can we talk about the title?
Absolutely, yeah.
Where does that come from?
Skeet is a Newfoundland sort of slang word, I guess a stereotype of a low-income, tough guy Newfoundlander who's often wrapped up in petty crimes.
So there, you kind of set the premise for part of the film, part of the story. This, though, follows this friendship that develops between two men who might not on the surface appear to have a lot in common, but really they do when we get into it. So set us up.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a redemption story. So this, quote, Skeet comes home from jail and he goes back to his Newfoundland neighborhood, which has changed. And it's full of Syrian refugees and refugees from all over the world. So he's a bit of a fish out of water in his own home. And then it sets up this, this unlikely friendship between a tough guy, ex-con, and a Syrian taxi driver. And they both have more in common than we imagine.
It feels really heartfelt.
It's honest. It's happening right now in Newfoundland. It's happening all over Canada, over North America. You go into these low-income neighborhoods, and there's a lot of integration that happens. And even the lead, Jay Abdo, who came from Syria, I felt this when he came to North America. So, yeah, it's a very common thread. We did a lot of research and went into these neighborhoods, and in fact, all the Syrian families that are in the background, they actually live there. We didn't put them there. They're not actors. They live in these neighborhoods. Yeah.
There's a really heartfelt scene in in the movie, in one of the scenes with the two main characters. It's in Mohammed's taxi. Mohammed starts making comparisons between prison and refugee camps, and he says there is pain and there's suffering and bad food in both. But the main difference is that when you are in a camp, your family is there suffering with you.
Yeah.
It's pretty poignant.
Yeah.
What is the film saying about the refugee experience?
Well, it's saying, it's not great when refugees first arrive into these neighborhoods. They're not always welcomed. The integration process isn't ideal, and yeah, I think Mohammed and Billy have a lot more in common than we imagine, And yeah, the prison versus refugee camp thing is real, and a lot of these families spent, some children were born in these refugee camps, so they spent a long time there, and I think that in the film we discover that trauma is common across the board.
It really is. I think it's remarkable that this film wasn't worked on just over like a year or two.
No,
this took a significant amount of time. It was filmed over 7 years. So when you invest that much time into a project, how are you feeling now that it's wrapped and we're talking about it?
Someone said it's like opening and closing a business, So it's good, but it's also bittersweet. Yeah, we started shooting this 7 years ago. The opening scene of the film has this young boy who's 8 years old, and then when we find him 10 minutes later in the story, he's 15, and he naturally aged through that process. The lead, Billy Skinner, he has these sort of flashback vignettes of violence, and in those flashbacks, he's 40 pounds lighter, he's chiseled, and he's very menacing. So those are real as well, because anyone that comes out of incarceration often has a bit of weight on. So yeah, so these 7-year difference in the film are, some might think it's AI, but it actually is organically real. And also with the friendship, like we shot in the summer, we shot in the fall and the winter. So when you see, it didn't feel like fast friends. It feels like this relationship was built over seasons and time.
Well, it was built over 7 years.
Yeah,
like,
of course,
it really was.
Yeah.
When we're watching the footage there, Nik, it's black and white.
Yeah.
Why did you make that choice?
Well, we tested it 7 years ago, and we started watching it in color. We watched it in black and white, and the black and white just told the story better. It felt more gritty, it felt more real, and I think when we watch this film 20 years from now, it will feel timeless, rather than sometimes color feels like it's past, or it's that era, that decade. And I wish I had some sort of Hitchcockian reference, but no, we just tested it, and we found black and white was the way to tell the story.
Well, thank you so much for coming on
the show
today.
thanks for having me. It was so nice to be here.
Yeah, my pleasure, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.